man ain't got a right to call himself neighbor. He ain't helpful. The house is right up the street. Well, we still can't believe it happened. The Millers were the best you could find. The girl, Elaine, she was so pretty. So happy to have your daughter visiting. Well, that's where we buried them. You know, it's hard as blazes to walk by without wanting to go after those pigs that murdered them and then... Well, I guess I'm getting too old for that. But if there's a just God, someday somebody will catch them. They'll get their due.
Why did they kill the Millers? Was there any reason?
Well, Sam, Mr. Miller, that is, Sam was still alive when we got there. Well, she wasn't able to say much, except they were drunk, broke in the house figuring to find money. And when they didn't, they just went mad. Tortured him first. Elaine, well, they used a knife on Elaine before they shot him.
Where was my daughter?
I found her in the attic bedroom. Thank God they didn't know she was there.
I'd like to see her now, please.
Oh, yes, sure. Of course.
Audra, I'm so good. Audra.
Didn't you tell her?
Tell me what?
Well, I tried.
The shock. She must have seen what happened. She can't hear or talk. It's like she never saw any of us before.
Audra? Oh, my God.
You have made your point several times, Mr. Lassiter.
Well, it ain't helping it to sink in any better by the repeating of it, is it? We're all on the same short water ration, same as me. All on account of the same stupidity of this here stage line. You're all acting like I'm first cousin to a loco weed because I'm the only one that's got sense enough to holler about it.
Well, seeing as we're practically nose to nose, maybe you ought to stop hollering, just out of respect to the ladies.
My hollering ain't going to bother that girl now, not with what ails her.
Why don't you shut up?
It ain't that I don't have feelings for her sickness, ma'am, or respect for you. It's just that when something riles me, I gotta let it out.
Well, I think you've done just that, Mr. Lassiter. But no amount of complaining will fix a leaky water barrel or replace the water we lost, will it?
No, complaining won't do that, no. But if we all stuck together, all right, we might be able to get back half of our fare.
Why, Mr. Lassiter, I'm disappointed in you. A man who owns his own gold mine, nuggets sticking out of his pockets.
I suppose it's the business of a professional gambler to know what's in everybody's pockets, Mr. Matson, but you ain't going to be any more hopeful of getting me into a stud poker game in Stockton as you was back in the depot waiting for this stage.
Well, if everybody was as astute as you are, Mr. Lassiter, I would have to find myself a new occupation, which no doubt would be good for my soul, but would certainly deprive my spirit.
Okay.
I suggest we all just keep quiet and allow Mrs. Barkley and her daughter to get a little rest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matson. But please don't let our presence interfere with your pleasure. My daughter and I have overcome bigger problems.
Stopping for water rations?
We're stopping for a lame horse. You can all get out and stretch your legs.
Miss Barkley, I make it my business to mind my own, but I just can't help thinking a girl as beautiful as your daughter certainly should be blessed with a voice to match.
She has a beautiful voice.
I've been on some hard luck trips in my life, but this beats it. Fool horse picked up a pebble under his shoe.
Now, you ain't gonna stop to rest him, are you? I gotta be in Stockton tomorrow.
I ain't resting him. I'm leaving him. He can't hardly touch ground with that hoof.
But we're 3 hours late already.
And you're gonna be later. All right, everybody, half a cup of water each. No more, and let's make it fast.
I haven't had enough trouble. Now we gotta lose a horse. Hey, you heard the man. Half a cup.
This is for the women. Can't hold them to half rations. Miss Barkley? When she finishes this, I'll bring you some more.
Well, it seems to me you brought us our full quota. I'll share it with her.
Well, nobody minds if the women have a bit more.
We do. But thank you just the same. Audra, I have some water for you. Now, Audra, I know you're thirsty, and we're not going to get any more water for a long time. So please turn around and you can have some. Audra?
Let's head him up. Honey, look, yeah!
We're short of water, driver. We're short of water, and we're shy of horse.
Can't expect this stage line to be worried about that.
Well, now, Mr. Lassiter, the company figured there'd be days like this when there'd be lame horses and leaky water kegs and bothering and complaining passengers. So they set up relay stations. There's one maybe 10, 15 miles down the trail.
Now, why didn't you say so?
Why didn't you ask? Let me help you, ladies.
But the most fascinating game of chance, Roy, is a game called Chemin de Fer. You won't find that game played in any of the army barracks or in the saloons. Europe is where they play that game. Europe, where they never even heard of five-card stud.
That's where I'm gonna take my woman when we get married. Got a nice sound to it, don't it? Honeymoon in Europe.
You're contemplating marriage, Mr. Lester? I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, that's why I'm going to Stockton. That's where she's waiting for me.
Man spends 20 years getting rich, and in 1 second, just long enough to say I do, he loses half his fortune.
Perhaps that 1 second will enrich his life far more than a gold mine.
Well, now that depends upon the woman, Mrs. Barkley. That depends upon the woman.
Takes a woman to recognize quality. Now, wouldn't you say she had quality, ma'am?
Ah, yes, she's lovely. Congratulations.
Hey, we got company.
Hey, let that fella catch up with us. Let him ride inside. Hitch up another horse.
Well, come on. We're waiting.
I don't think he plans on joining us.
Well, all right. It's gonna be so doggone private.
have a weapon in your bag, Mr. Lassiter, I suggest you get it out.
I'm a prospector, not a gambler. I never had any need of weapons.
And you've been lucky so far. I sincerely hope your luck holds out.
What's he waiting for? Why don't he make a play if he's going to rob us?
Maybe he's not interested in the same things you are, Mr. Lassiter.
What's that mean?
Well, he may have things on his mind other than gold. There are many reasons a man might use a gun.
Nobody's riding shotgun in this stage, so he's got to know we're not carrying a strong box.
I've got 3,000 in gold nuggets on me. If he comes at me, I'll give $500 to the one who cuts him down. $500.
Well, if he is interested in money, I think he's after higher stakes. Mrs. Barkley is a rich woman. She'd bring a big ransom.
You'd have to climb over me. And I don't need no offer of pay either.
Seems to me I spend the best part of this journey thanking you.
That soldier suit sure gives you a lot of guts, don't it, Sonny? Maybe everybody's right. Maybe he don't want money. Maybe he just wants revenge. Maybe he's a breed out there under those white man's clothes, looking for revenge for the massacre of his tribe that you soldier boys pulled off.
I never massacred nobody. I never had this uniform on until 3 days ago. I just signed up and I got a 2-week furlough before I have to report.
Mr. Lassiter, you haven't said one right word since you got on this stage.
Well, maybe this is the right one. Maybe he's after you. Maybe you second-carded him in a poker game and won his ranch. Or hearing your low opinion of women, maybe you ruined his sister or took his wife.
Maybe you'd like to get your head blown off.
Put up the gun, Matson. You're scaring the girl.
I didn't mean nothing. I didn't mean nothing.
Put up that gun, I said.
Stay out of this, Roy.
Wouldn't you say, gentlemen, that the rider out there is getting just what he wants? We're at each other's throats.
Hey, he's gone.
Well, we scared him off. Now we'll have fresh horses and water and... Oh, now I never was one to hold grudges, and I ain't too stubborn to make apologies. We got 10 or 12 hours before Stockton. I say let's just forget all these little disagreements.
That's better, Mr. Lassiter.
Relay station!
Water's over there. It's awful quiet.
Suits me fine.
Hey! Anybody? Speak up if you're here!
Nobody around.
Horses are gone, too.
Been salted.
Look. You better get inside.
He's just sitting out there on that ridge like a vulture.
Well, we'll just sit right here and outwait him.
I'll see if I can find something to eat.
Lassiter, how about a nice, friendly game of cards?
I found this. Somebody has a match. I'll put a fire under it.
Here you are, man.
Audra?
You can bet your bottom dollar that leak in the water keg was no accident.
What about that pebble that lamed our lead horse?
Well, you're all talking kind of crazy, like that fellow's some kind of a magician or something. Like he can be in all places at one time, like he knows every move we make.
You in the cabin! You won't get hurt, you do what you're told. I want the girl. Leave the girl, the rest of you can ride out, else you'll all die.
Hungry? These will be ready in a few minutes. You recognize it? You've been shopping at Chef's ever since it opened, just before you left for High Ridge. Remember, you bought Nick a pair of silver spurs there because he stayed up 2 nights helping you fold Betsy. Nick is your brother, and you'll be seeing him soon, and you'll be seeing your other 2 brothers, Jared and he. Oh, Audra. Audra, I know what you've been through. It was a nightmare. But it's over now. It's all over. You can't shut your mind off forever. Audra, you are going to listen to me. I am going to make you remember. Now listen to me. Now, we'll start at the beginning. You were in the attic bedroom. 2 drunken cowboys broke into the house. And when they couldn't find what they wanted, they tortured the Millers. They used a knife on Elaine. Nothing could stop them. And then they killed them. Now face it! Face it! They killed them in cold blood. They would have killed you too, but they couldn't find you. But you're safe now. You're here with me and you're safe. And I won't let anybody hurt you. I'm going to take you home. Home to the family that loves you. Oh, God. Oh, God.
You stink to high heaven, Lassiter.
Well, why should we give up our lives for some girl we never laid eyes on 3 days ago? Well, that's what we're all thinking, ain't it?
Oh, shut up, will you?
Now let the man talk. Man's got a right to talk. Anyways, look at it. She can't understand a word we're saying. Do you, honey? That's a pretty good trick, Matson. Now, how about making that rider disappear?
She don't know sun up from a high wind. I say we ought to do what that fella out there says. Leave her here and we ride on. Well, how do we know? Maybe he don't mean her any harm. Who'd want to hurt a girl who ain't, well, ain't all there?
Why would anybody want to send a girl who ain't all there to whatever's outside that's turning some men's backbone into sawdust?
If you weren't her ma, you'd feel the same as the rest of us.
As you.
Us, not counting the soldier boy. Now, he can believe all the mush he's fed about protecting the flag and the female race. But for me, I say you got no right asking the rest of us to stick our necks out.
What do you say, Mr. Matson?
Ma'am, I'm waiting for my ration of water so I can wash down these beans. Not that they're not cooked to a turn, ma'am.
Is that all you can think of?
No, Roy, Mr. Matson's right. He's a practical man. It is time for our water ration.
Well, the water barrel's still on the stage. There should be enough in that to go around.
You were about to express an opinion, Mr. Matson.
I'm wondering why this man took so much trouble to get this girl.
It's plain as the nose on your face, ain't it?
Man doesn't have to attempt murder to get a girl, Roy.
Now, why are we jawing about that? Who cares why he wants her?
Miss Barkley, earlier today you said that your daughter had a beautiful voice. Would it be too painful to tell us how she lost it?
She saw 3 people tortured and murdered before her eyes. One of them a young girl, her best friend. And the shock was too much for her.
And why was she spared?
She was in the attic bedroom.
And the killer didn't see her. And that's why he's coming here now to kill her so that she won't identify him.
A skunk like that ain't fit to breathe the same air she does. I'd get a real joy killing a man like that.
Well, you have your chance, Roy. He's waiting right out there on that ridge. I'm betting, Mrs. Barkley, that he's the one that's hounding us. You betting against it?
Does it matter?
No, it don't. I've been rooting in the rocks and the mud for 20 years. At last they get me a chance to come up for air, I ain't gonna let nothing stop me.
He's only one man.
Pretty good man. He's got our food, our water.
You're 4 to 1.
You got a blood feud with the killer. That's your business. My business is to get to Stockton.
We'll get to Stockton, Lassiter.
Maybe. Maybe too late for me. Maybe she won't be waiting for me. Maybe she'll think I'm not coming.
She knows you love her. She'll wait.
She don't know nothing about me except what I wrote in my letters.
Mail order bride?
Something wrong with that?
Nothing, nothing. And she will wait for you.
If we don't make a deal with that bushwhacker, I'll show up in a box.
Oh, no, Mr. Lassiter. He's a coward. He'll never come within gun range. He's just trying to scare you off so he can kill a defenseless girl. And please don't let him.
This is an easy place to defend. I'll take the first shift standing guard. And maybe tomorrow morning the horses will be rested and we can make Stockton by tomorrow night.
Hold on, soldier boy. You might be needing this.
4 to 1, Lassiter. Looks like you lose. Ma'am, this time you keep your water ration.
Careful, Mr. Matson. You'll be accused of being gallant.
Not guilty. I only have one interest in your well-being, ma'am. We just can't afford to lose a good cook.
Sure, I know you're worried, but there's no sense acting like the world's coming to an end just because the stage is a little late.
A little late? It's 10 minutes past 5.
Maybe we better ride out a ways, Nick.
Look, can't you wait just a little while longer? Maybe they threw a wheel or busted an axle.
Now, it'd only take a few minutes to fix a broken wheel, an hour at most for a broken axle.
Come on, Nick. We waited too long already.
Whoa, wait a minute. Sure, I know what must have happened. The bridge over Pride's Gulch went out, and if it ain't been fixed, that means the stage has got to go by way of Greenfield. That'd bring it here in the morning.
The morning?
Oh, we don't charge any for the extra ride.
They would have telegraphed, wouldn't they?
Well, they can't do that. The wire ain't been strung through Greenfield yet.
Well, we may as well get back to the ranch.
I'm sorry, boys. I'll tell them you were here.
Yeah.
on now. I'll take over.
You ain't made a move.
How do you know? That campfire could be just for show. He could be crawling down that hill at us right now.
You think so?
I don't know the man. I don't know what's on his mind.
If you want me to stay out here with you, I will.
No. One of us is enough, I guess.
You sure?
I said so, didn't I?
At least there's one good thing. She doesn't know what's happening. I apologize for that, Mrs. Barkley.
That's all right, Roy.
Playing solitaire. Would you like to play, pretty lady? Here. Take it. Red Jack goes on the Black Queen.
He stole my shotgun.
And a horse.
All on account of her! She ain't worth nothing! She ought to be put away!
Stop it! Stop it, both of you!
Did you hear what he said?
Doesn't matter now.
He took the water.
Whoever he is up there, he sure knows how to drive the pikers out of the game.
These horses don't get water soon, they ain't gonna last.
Neither are we, Barney.
Well, Watson Ranch has a line cabin up in the hills. Maybe 20 miles off the trail. They got food stashed away there. Maybe they got water, too.
Water, but you're not sure.
No, I ain't sure they got water. And I ain't sure 2 horses in their condition can pull a full stage for 20 miles. Mister, I ain't sure of nothing.
Morning, ma'am.
I don't suppose he's gone yet.
I doubt it. Barney says there may be some water at a cabin up in the hills. Meanwhile, why don't you put this in your mouth? Relieve the thirst. Heritage my father left me.
Didn't your mother tell you to wash it off first?
Oh, my mother. My mother wasn't around long enough to tell me anything. When my father lost his job at the woolen mills at Hartford, why, my mother couldn't stand the strain, so she ran off with a more affluent drummer. I was 10 years old at the time.
And so at 10 years old, your opinion of women was born,
And at 20 years old when I got married for the first time, and at 30 years old when I got married for the second time.
And did they run off with affluent drummers, too?
Well, frankly, ma'am, I just wiped it out of my mind why my marriages were such a disaster, but don't get me wrong, I don't blame any of them for their lack of character. It's a woman's nature.
Well, maybe it was your lack of good judgment.
Maybe.
Roy, where's Audra?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I thought she was with you.
No.
Check the shack in the back. I'll check the stables.
Audra! 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 Please, listen to me. She can't hear. She can't talk. She doesn't remember anything that's happened. Listen to me. She can't testify against you. She can't identify you. Oh, please, please let her alone. Let her alone, please.
I've had enough of that guy's company. We ain't gonna be sitting ducks for him no longer.
You two all right?
We're all right. He's gone!
Maybe you got through to him.
I hope so.
Roy scared him off. In any case, we better get back to the stage. Come on.
You all right, Mrs. Barkley?
Yes, I'm all right, thank you.
Audra's all right, too, Roy.
Sure. We're all right. Now, let's get moving.
You sure don't discourage easy.
He got us beat.
But how did he get here before us?
Doesn't matter how. He just did.
There ain't a drop of water between here and Stockton.
Well, we can survive longer than that without water.
Look.
Lady, I'm checking out.
Oh, no. Will $5,000 get you to stay?
Lady, where does a dead man spend $5,000?
Don't unhitch that horse.
That horse is company property.
I just bought it. And Mr. Matson has a gun to see that the deal sticks.
Well, if Mr. Matson has the brains of a goose egg, he'll check out with me.
each of you gets $5,000 the minute my daughter and I set foot in Stockton.
Oh, I don't need pay for the privilege of escorting you and your daughter to Stockton, Mrs. Barkley.
The purpose of the young is to make the old seem greedy and corrupt. I accept your offer, Mrs. Barkley.
We can't force you to stay.
Now, that's a prime choice, ma'am. Go on foot without water and die alone, or stay here and die with some company.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. I'll see to that.
All right, Barney, let's get out of here.
It's a trick.
Could be.
Sure, any of us go for that water bag, he's got a clear shot.
We've got to have water. Anybody volunteer?
He might not shoot at a woman.
He might not.
He's not gonna let that water bag get back to this stage, and being a woman ain't gonna stand in his way.
One man less would suit him just fine.
Well, you can quit your arguing. We've got our volunteer.
Well, he sure is whittling down the odds.
I can drive the stage.
Start driving.
I figure we got no choice.
You're right. Horses have to pull this stage a couple of miles more, they'll drop.
Now, when I ride out of here, you get up in those rocks. One man with a gun up there could hold off an army. He's gonna chase me. He's gotta come right by here, so you'll have an easy shot. You're the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I'll be back with help. Come.
He's not following him.
I guess he figures there's just one less man. Let's get up on those rocks.
So there was a second one after all.
You mean that you knew there were two of them?
At High Ridge, they told me there was two, but since we only saw one, I thought only one followed us.
And you held back, Mrs.
Yes,
Barkley?
I held back. I'd lie. I would do anything to save my daughter.
One horse left, mister. You can ride out peaceful. You ride out now.
Oh, no, you can't. You're not that kind of a man. Lassiter and Barney can ride off to save their own skins, but not you. It would stay with you for the rest of your life.
I never go against a stacked deck, ma'am. If there was a chance,
But
I'd
you're not
say-
an animal. You can't ride away and leave us.
We're all animals, Mrs. Barkley. We're all kin to the beasts of the field. The only difference is man knows he's going to die, and sometimes he gets a chance to die a little later than sooner. And I intend to die later.
Then leave me your gun.
I can't do that, man. Those men may change their mind about letting me go peaceful. I wish there was something I could do.
You can. Leave me your gun. I've got to have a gun.
Bye, ma'am.
Audra, come with me. Audra, come with me. Those men, they want to kill you. Don't you understand? They want to kill you. Now come with me. Take my hand. Come on.
Audra, stop it! Oh, no! Stop it! No! No! Oh, Mother!
Oh, Audra. Oh, Audra, it's all over. It's all over, darling. It's all over.
Oh, Mother!
I know. Oh. Oh, Audra, I'd like to stop by the bank first. That young boy I told you about, Roy Sanders. I owe him $5,000. I'd like to send it to his family. Audra, this is Mr. Henry Matson. My daughter, Mr. Matson.
How do you do, Mr. Matson?
The pleasure is all mine, ma'am. You do have a beautiful voice. You caught the stage at Ravenwood, ma'am, huh?
We did. Goodbye.
Miss Barkley. I'm glad you made it. And as you predicted, I'm finding it difficult to live with myself, if that gives you any satisfaction.
It gives me no satisfaction, Mr. Matson.
Hey, are you Barkley's ready?
Now, don't you worry about us.
Oh, we ain't, are we, J.I.?
No, we ain't worried about them Barkleys at all, Zach.
3 years running. Our ranch has won the rodeo. We're going to do it again just to keep you Barkleys humble.
Oh, no, I wouldn't count on that. I mean, you Mortons may be in for a little surprise.
Seems to me I recollect you saying the same thing last year.
You just keep on laughing.
Nick?
Now,
My papa says you Barkleys are sporting.
well, now, your papa is right. What is your sport?
Well, I got 1,000 that says we win the rodeo.
And I got 5 says you don't.
1,000?
1,000.
You get a bet?
You got you a bet.
What was that all about?
Huh? Oh, you mean the Mortons?
The Mortons.
Well, it was just a little sporting proposition on the rodeo, was all.
Uh-huh. How much?
Well, 500, 1,000. Want a piece of it?
You gotta be out of your mind.
You don't want a piece of it. Well, somehow I have a little feeling about this rodeo.
You had a little feeling about last year's rodeo, and how much did that cost?
Oh, well, now that was different. This year, the Mortons
The Mortons are gonna walk all over us, and you know it. Zach baited you, and you bit.
What would you have done? Passed.
Nick, will you use your head? They're even stronger this year, and 2 of our hands are laid up.
Well, now, whose side are you on?
Ours, but we haven't got a prayer. They've recruited every cowboy between here and Waco.
Oh.
I can win that rodeo for you. Joshua Watson, for hire.
It's about time you got back.
I just got a little busy in town's all, thank you.
You always get busy in town when there's work to be done here.
You're going to thank me for it this time.
For what?
For Joshua. Joshua Watson, and my brother Heath.
Howdy.
He's going to win that rodeo for us single-handed.
Well, that's a pretty big chore.
Uh-huh.
Can you rope?
Better than most.
You ever do any bulldogging?
One more than my share.
Can you ride a bronc?
That's my best.
That's your best, huh, Josh? Well, now, let's see. Charlie?
Nick, wait a minute.
Charlie! Yeah, Nick? Saddle up a Baden and bring him here, will you? Hey, Charlie. I said saddle up a Baden and bring him here.
I'll give my hand.
All righty.
Nick, what are you trying to prove?
Oh, just take the man's word. He said that was his best.
But you know, Archie and Dale both got busted up trying to ride that horse.
You going to ride that horse?
Yep,
Do you know what you were doing?
I know.
They call that horse a Baden. The name means devil.
Got him? Hold it.
Horse has got a lot of spirit.
I would say, yeah.
No, I never rode a horse before to prove a point.
Oh?
What do I get for breaking him?
Name it.
How about the horse?
All right. You break him, he's yours.
All right.
You don't have to ride him.
Well, I've been riding the devil all my life, Heath. He ain't throwed me yet.
Mister, you gotta be the best to ride this horse. Or crazy. Turn him out!
Stay with him, Joshua.
Ride him, Joshua. Hold him, boy! Hold him! Ha-ha! Eat him up!
You all right?
I'm all right.
Where do you think you're going?
Ride that horse.
Haven't you had enough?
Ain't a man can't beat road, but ain't a horse can't be rode. Easy, horse. Easy, boy. Ain't no need to fight. 'Cause I'm gonna break you.
All right, stay with him, Josh.
Attaboy, Josh. Ride him, Joshua. I think he's got him. You got him! You got him, Josh! Whoopee! He did it!
I think we just won ourselves a rodeo.
Walk, horse. Walk proud for the people. Walk on, boy. Good boy.
And ride, why, this man's got to be the greatest Mustanger ever.
Well, is there anything Miss Joshua Watson can do?
He can rope, bust broncs, why, he can even bullbuck.
Did he really ride a Baden?
He had that horse eaten out of his hand 2 minutes after he stepped on him.
Well, how does he measure up to the Mortons?
Better. You ask Heath when he comes in.
Then we have a chance of winning this year.
Well, with Joshua riding for us, we have a chance. Sure you wouldn't like to make a little bet, Jared?
No, I wouldn't like to make a little bet. As a matter of fact, I'd feel a lot better if we called this whole thing off.
For the first time in 4 years, we have a chance to winning this rodeo, and he wants to call it off. Why?
Because it stopped being just a contest between two ranches.
Whole thing's getting out of hand.
Because I made a bet. Oh. Well, all the hands out there have made bets, too, you know.
Nick, it has nothing to do with the betting. Now, you remember what happened last year, that fight with the Mortons in the saloon?
Boys were just letting off little steams, huh?
And then what followed that? They salted our water holes. We had to spook their cattle.
We should have done worse.
Nick, can't you see what's happening? This isn't a rodeo anymore. It's turning into a feud.
Wait a minute. 4 years ago, we started this rodeo as a constructive way of handling the rivalry between us and the Mortons. Now, if it hasn't worked out, perhaps we should call it off.
Mother, this rodeo is my responsibility. I'm not about to call it off.
Nick, what if somebody gets killed?
That is also my responsibility.
Sure you wouldn't like to make a little bet?
Oh, you hard-headed.
Are you going to keep laughing like a blamed hyena all night long?
I can't help it, Pa. I keep thinking about Nick Barkley. You know, he ain't ever gonna learn his lesson.
Man's got pride. You can't fault him for that.
I ain't faulting him. It's his money that's gonna buy us that new breeding stock in Denver.
And, I guess you plan to, go to Denver yourself and pick up those critters.
Yeah, me and JR.
It's a pretty long trip to Denver. A couple of young fellas could get into trouble in a wild town like that.
Well, we sure aim to try.
You know something? Barkley's got no monopoly on pride. You boys have done everything, and I've asked of you and more. And you've raised up just like I hoped you would. Tough, skilled, and you don't know the meaning of the word lose.
Hey, Paul? Hey, Zach?
In here, son.
Boy, I'm not glad you're up.
Hey, where you been?
Well, I've been in town. I was with a bunch of them Barkley hands. First off, I thought they was all drunk.
They try and jump you, son?
No, Pa. They all wanted to bet on the rodeo.
Won't you tell them to line up?
Well, yeah, sure. Told them they could bet any amount they wanted. I didn't figure it out till later. And then I found out they got this new hand out there. A black man by the name of Joshua Watson. Talk is he's the greatest rodeo rider that ever got up into a saddle.
Did you see him?
No, I didn't see him, but...
Oh, now one black man ain't gonna scare us off.
I got 3 champions riding for us and paying them more money than they've ever seen.
Well, Pa, that's what bothers me. They know who we got riding for us, but they're betting on this Watson fella.
They ain't any smarter than Nick Barkley.
I know every good rider in the country, and I never heard of a Joshua Watson. You?
No.
Well, you can just stop your worrying, JR, and just tell them to keep sending in the bets.
Pa, I ain't worried. Well, okay. Anyway, I figure he's as good as they say he is. We can always hire him for ourselves. Right, Pa?
Like I was telling your brother, a Morton doesn't know the meaning of the word lose.
Hey, easy, man. Save some of that vinegar for the rodeo.
Work and me get along fine. I'll be fit come rodeo time.
You know, me and you's pretty much the same, Joshua.
How's that?
Oh, I come from a sharecropping family. Hard work's all I've had. Most of it without pay. Well, like you, or the government catch you free. This rodeo means everything to me, Joshua. I got a wife and 2 boys back home. And I've been saving every penny I earned for the past 2 years to bring them here. I bet every bit of it on you.
I'll do my best.
Ready in a minute. Joshua, we never had anyone like you around here before.
I guess my kind's rare in these parts.
No, I didn't mean that. We've had a lot of Negroes working on this ranch. It's just that, well, you know, freed men come west, finding a new start. But we never had a hand that could do it all. Where'd you learn all this about ranching?
Just comes naturally, I guess.
Where you from?
Lots of places.
Most cowboys are. Where's your home?
Place I'm at.
Hey, Charlie. Found a friend of yours.
I think he likes you better.
Catch Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Right back at you, Charlie. Whoa!
Thanks.
Nothing.
Nothing. About the best shooting I ever saw.
All I did was pull the trigger. Snake did the rest.
How's that?
Well, when the rattler sees a bullet coming, he strikes out at it.
Oh, well. I get it.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. I saw a band of angels coming after me. They were coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, carry on. Coming for to carry me home.
It was beautiful, Joshua.
Thank you, Nick.
From the sound of it, I'd say your father must have been a preacher.
No, he was a slave, Nick. A field slave.
Nick! Bert! Bert, what happened? What happened?
I was chasing strays. They bushwhacked me.
Oh, who did it? Bert, who did it?
The Mortons.
The Mortons. Joshua, take Bert to the ranch. Charlie, go on into town and get the doctor.
What are you gonna do?
I got a little call on the Mortons.
You're not going out there in the dark.
By the time I get there, it'll be morning.
Hey, Zach. Here he comes.
Here, just like you said.
You shot Bert.
Well, he was spooking our cattle.
You're a liar.
You be careful who you calling a liar. Well, if that wasn't an invite to a fight, I'd...
You all right, Nick?
Of course I'm all right. Just fine. How'd you know I was here?
Charlie told me. Sure you're all right?
I don't need your help. I'm fine. Leave me alone. You help me, and so help me, I'll hit you. Oh. Oh.
Heath? You keep your brother away from me, or next time he'll get it worse.
All right, I'm ready.
How's the eye feel?
Fine, just fine.
Sure you don't want a cold town?
No, this will do nicely, thank you.
Okay. Try to help.
What happened to him?
Ask him.
What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You heard what I said? Nothing.
I'd say that's the best one I've ever seen.
They don't come any better.
Nick, if you don't mind a little suggestion, I think the best place for that beefsteak is on a plate with some mashed potatoes. Who did it?
Morton's.
Ah, the Mortons. Well, you've just been itching for a fight with them, haven't you? And you finally got it.
Well, they haven't heard the last of it either.
Now, look, with that eye, you're not exactly ready for a beauty contest as it is, much less go back.
Look, Jared, I'll worry about my eye. But they shot Bert. And they said that he was spooking their cattle, and it's a lie.
Where are you going? Going up and have a hot bath. I'll be as good as new in an hour. Here. All you need now is a mashed potato.
Forget it.
What?
What you're thinking won't do any good.
Well, then maybe I better have a little talk with Rufus. Try and reason with him.
The reason things are the way they are is because Rufus can't be reasoned with.
Bert shot. They stomped on Nick. And they've gone too far. I say we go over to their ranch and crack a few heads. Are you with us, Josh?
Yep, I'm with you.
Well, then come on, let's go.
Where are you boys heading?
To the Mortons.
Nobody leaves this ranch. Is that understood?
You've got a right to even things up.
Any man that rides out to fight the Mortons is fired. Is that understood?
And the Mortons?
That's where I'm heading right now to have a little talk with them. Rufus, for the last time, I came out here for only one reason, to get you to call this rodeo off.
And you rode out here for nothing.
Yeah, what do you want to call the rodeo off for? We hear you got a man who can win it for you all by himself.
Yeah, ain't he as good as they say he is?
Listen, JR, why don't you go open the front door and, let this man and the smell out of here?
I'd like to remind you, gentlemen, a man's already been shot, badly wounded.
He was lucky. I told my boys to shoot to kill any one of your hands that crossed my lines.
And can't you see what a tragic mistake that is? Call it off before someone is killed.
My boys have been looking forward to this for a year. And I'm not going to be the one to spoil their sport. I never thought I'd live to see the day when a Barkley would ask me to back off.
Rufus, I'm not asking you to back off. I'm asking you to do what makes sense.
It all adds up to the same thing. Morton's backing down.
If you don't back down this time, it means a fight.
So be it. And we'll settle this thing between us once and for all.
You're just itching for a fight, aren't you, Rufus? Well, all right. The Barkleys don't back down either. So if it's a fight you want, it's a fight you're gonna get.
Let the horse do the work. How's he doing on time?
5 seconds. He's almost there.
Come on, Jim. Hang it in there. Hang it in there.
7 seconds. Well, he almost made it.
7 seconds ain't enough. Almost ain't good enough. He's got to stay on the animal 8 seconds.
All right, Jim, that'll be enough for today. Go get yourself a hot bath. How do you do it, Joshua?
I just stay loose, Nick. I let the animal do the work. You see, staying on the horse 8 seconds is important. But what's more important is making it look good. You see, the easier you make it look, the quicker you catch the judge's eye.
Oh, Jared.
How's Jim doing?
He's doing pretty good. Joshua here's working with him. If those Morton boys had any sense, they'd start worrying.
I think they already are, Nick. Charlie tells me he saw Zach and JR up on the ridge watching Joshua with a pair of glasses.
You don't say. Well, you tell Charlie. Next time he sees those two poor boys, invite them on down here. It's a shame for them to stand all the way back on that ridge and strain their eyes. And I think maybe I'll treat your eyes to some fancy roping.
Nick's roping's pretty fancy, ain't it?
Yeah, it sure is, Joshua.
Begging your pardon, Jared, you look a little worried. It ain't the rodeo, is it?
No, it's... Well, I guess it's just a lot of things all together. But I guess if nobody panics, everything will work out all right.
Silas? Silas?
Oh, yes, Miss Audra.
Oh, you looking at the almanac?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you're checking on the weather for the day of the rodeo, it'll be sunny and warm, temperature in the high 80s. I checked it yesterday.
That's good, Miss Audrey. But I wasn't checking on the weather. The almanac has all the famous rodeo riders in it.
Oh, that's right.
And if anybody can ride rodeo like Joshua can, he just might be a champion.
Was his name mentioned in there?
No, it doesn't seem to be. But of course, after we beat the Mortons, I bet they write a whole page on him.
You're proud of him, aren't you?
Yes, Miss Audrey. He's something.
You know, Silas, we don't really know very much about him. Have you had a chance to talk with him?
We've talked once in a while.
Did he say anything about himself?
No, ma'am. I guess that surprises you?
A little.
Joshua and I are the same in one respect. We are both black men. But we are different, Miss Audra. Different as day is to night.
In what way?
I've always worked in a big house like this one. I was treated special because I belong to the house. All my life, I've been indoors.
And Joshua?
He's from the fields, from the outdoors. He's never known nothing but hard work and the whip. He's a new breed. He's restless. He's proud. And he's searching. Searching for a place that he can call home. A place where he can stand up as a man.
Joshua, I gotta drop this by the bank. Have you step up here. I'll join in a minute.
Okay. Give me a beer.
You must be Joshua Watson.
You must be Rufus Morton.
You know me?
Well, everybody around here knows you Morton. You people don't exactly walk around on tiptoe, you know.
Well, we have no need to. Truth is, you're not exactly a secret around here either. Can I talk to you?
Talk? What you want to talk about?
How would you like to work for me?
I got a job.
I'll pay you double what the Barclays are paying you.
Nobody can best what the Barclays are paying me.
Oh, we'll see about that. I'll buy you a drink and we can talk. Bartender?
I got a drink.
Hey, boy. Are you refusing to drink with my paw?
Man has a right to pick his own drinking company.
Begging your pardon, Heath. The man asked me the question, and the answer is yes, I'm refusing.
You think you're too good to drink with us?
You think what you want. You almost made it to the other world.
What are you thinking, Pa?
Only two kinds of men handle a gun like that. Outlaw or a lawman. And he's no lawman.
Well, there is such a thing as quitting time.
Oh, hiya, Nick.
How you doing?
Oh, just fine.
You know, I had an idea that you just might be in town with the rest of the boys.
No, not tonight. Me and my saddle got a lot of work to be done before rodeo time.
Mm-hmm. You know, Heath was telling me that Rufus Morton offered you a job. Twice your pay. You turned it down. How come?
Well, your foreman's retiring at the end of the month. I'd like his job.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Josh. That foreman's job, why, that wouldn't pay half the money old Morton would.
Well, you see, the way I look at it, it pays better.
Well, you know something, Joshua? You might just be the man for the job. Good night.
Good night, Nick.
Still having trouble with the Peterson case?
No, I'm having trouble with my own stupid case. You know what I did today? I went over to the Mortons to see if I could talk them out of this rodeo.
You what?
Oh, you don't have to worry. I let that Rufus get me so mad, I told him we'd meet him head to head if that's the way they want it.
Oh, that's better.
No, it isn't better.
Huh? Nick, let's talk about this rationally. Let's talk about what's best for the Barclays and the Mortons.
Oh, now, come on, Mother.
Think about it. Suppose we did cancel the rodeo.
Well, we can't. The men have bet a full month's salary. They'd have to forfeit their money.
All right, we can cover that. Is there another reason?
Yes.
What? Your ridiculous bet with Zach?
No.
Well, then what?
For 3 years, the Mortons have stomped us at rodeo. And this year, thanks to Joshua, we have a chance to stomp them, and I'm not about to pass it up.
Oh, Nick.
Well, now, what is all this about? JR, take off your hat. What do you want?
Your new hired man, Joshua Watson.
Oh, yes, he said you offered Joshua a job, and he turned you down.
I didn't come here to hire him, Victoria. I came here to take him in.
What? You mean arrest him? What for?
I think he's an outlaw.
You think?
If I could get him to Phoenix, I could prove it.
Joshua turned you down cold. You never could stand to be turned down.
Turning me down had nothing to do with it, Victoria. I do business in Phoenix. And the last time I was there, the law was looking for a black man who rode with Coleman's raiders.
And you think that Joshua is the man that they're looking for?
He fits the description.
All the dirty. You show me an outlaw that would turn down the money you offered Joshua.
What makes you think Joshua's the man they want in Phoenix?
After what I saw in the saloon, I'm sure of it.
Rufus, that's a pretty serious accusation. I trust you have the evidence to back it up.
There's plenty of evidence in Phoenix. I came here tonight to ask you to do the right thing.
Oh, and what was that?
Turn Joshua Watson over to the law in Stockton.
Well, now, Rufus, I thought I knew how much this rodeo meant to you, but I had no idea how low you'd stoop to win it.
You either turn Joshua Watson over to the law tonight, or I'll come back in the morning and take him by force.
The streets of Laredo. As I walked out in the street one day, I saw a poor cowboy all wrapped in white linen, all wrapped in white linen and cold as a clay. Take me to green valleys and lay the sod o'er me. For I'm a young cowboy and I know I've done wrong. Things are gonna be different for me and you, horse. The Barkleys offered us a home, and we're gonna take it.
You seem to have a way with that horse.
Oh, we got understanding.
You're some man, Mr. Watson. The Barkleys are mighty proud of you, and so am I.
Well, thank you, Silas.
They're counting on you to win the rodeo.
I won't let them down.
Of course, if he wasn't here, it wouldn't be no rodeo.
And no trouble, huh?
Yes.
You asking me to ride out?
I don't want to see none of the Barkleys hurt. There's been a lot of trouble already, and there's a lot more coming.
This rodeo means everything to Nick, and he's been good to me. He give me a job here at the ranch, give me a home, and ain't no way I'm gonna ride away from that.
Joshua,
Well,
Rufus Morton says you're an outlaw. And unless we turn you over to the sheriff, he'll take you by force. We turned him down.
thank you, ma'am.
No thanks are necessary if you're not the man they want in Phoenix. However, there's going to be trouble. It might even start a range war. And there's something I have to know before the fighting starts.
What's that, ma'am?
Did you ride with Coleman Raiders?
No, ma'am.
And you're not the man they want in Phoenix?
No.
Where are you from, Joshua?
Well, I'm from lots of places, Miss Barkley. Places with bad memories. Places I'd like to forget.
Posted? Half on the north range, the rest on the east. Maybe he ain't coming. Morton's never backed away from a fight yet. He'll be coming. Nick. That's far enough, Rufus.
Back off, Nick. You don't have a chance.
Let's try us.
They're looking for a fight. We'll give it to them. Circle to the left.
You're running away, aren't you? I guess Rufus Morton was right. You did ride with Hardy Coleman.
I was another man then. That was a long time ago.
Why?
I was set free, but that was all. I had no home, no family, no place to go. Hardy took me in, taught me to ride, used my gun. Gave me a chance to be a man, or so I thought at that time.
We're offering you a chance, a real chance. But if you run, It's all over for you.
And if I don't run, there's 3 years waiting for me in Phoenix.
We're offering you a lifetime right here on this ranch.
3 years might not sound like a long time to you, but for a man that's been a slave, it's eternity.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
It ain't no use. I appreciate all you've tried to do for me, and I thank you for it. But ain't no way I'm gonna give up my freedom now.
Then you're a coward.
No, Miss Barkley. It's easy for you to judge me, ain't it? You with your fine ranch and your big fine family.
It wasn't always this way. When my husband brought me here, this was wasteland, barren land. We worked hard and suffered to make it what it is.
Suffered? Suffered, you and your family? You don't know what suffering is. Suffering is watching your mother and father being sold on the auction block. Suffering is working hard all day till your body aches, give out and drop. Suffering is watching the world from the outside, knowing nobody wants you in.
But times change, so do people.
Not fast enough.
Joshua, we've got to start somewhere.
I'm sorry, Miss Barkley. Tell him I'm gone, and ain't no need fighting.
All right, Tom, all right. Smush.
Hey, how bad is it, boy? Bad enough. Shoot him out of there!
Not about to hold out much longer.
I'll go get some help. Morton's. They got Nick and Charlie pinned down. They need help. Get the men on the North Range.
You all right?
Go on, get. I'll be all right.
Abaddon, slaves used to travel by the stars. They'd find the Big Dipper and follow it off to freedom. Which way is freedom now? Which way do I go?
Are you fixed for ammunition? Oh, how's yours? I got about 6 rounds left, so.
Hold your fire!
Wait a minute, hold it. Joshua, get out of here!
Ain't no need in fighting them, Nick. I'm the man they want in Phoenix.
You're what?
They had me right. I'm giving myself up.
Paul, maybe it's a trick.
We'll soon find out. Watson, did I hear you right? You're turning yourself in?
Yeah, that's right. I'm turning myself in.
Let's go! It's all over!
Joshua. Sorry to cause you all the trouble, Nick.
Well, why didn't you run?
Well, I started to, but then I changed my mind.
Change your mind? What about?
Yeah, I got to figure there ain't no way I can make a new life for myself till I find the right stars.
Yeah.
They'll get a job when I get out?
It'll be waiting for you.
All right.
Hang on, Nick.
Stay with him, Nick.
Got him, Nick!
Boy, ride him.
You think he's got a chance?
Well, maybe. He stays in one piece till the rodeo starts.
That's my boy.
Ain't you had enough, Nick?
Ain't a man that can't be throwed, and ain't a horse that can't be rode.
Any orders from up north?
No, I'm happy to say dear Alma doesn't visit us till next month. I'm going to meet Tom Lightfoot.
Lightfoot.
Uh-huh.
It's an old Indian name. We used to have an old Modoc engine around town years ago answered the name of Lightfoot.
Yeah, that's right. Tom's his son.
Oh. Well, I better get ready to fumigate that coach. Them Modocs is the filthiest. Well, maybe they don't bother you, but they bother me.
I'll tell you what bothers me, Walter. The way you think.
And only me. I like most people. But Modocs is the filthiest.
Welcome home, Tom.
Ted, I'm glad to be back. How are you?
I'm fine. Say, you're looking great.
Thank you, so are you. Well, your mother. I bought him in Lodi. I hope she still likes roses.
You know she does.
How is the family?
Dying to see you.
And Audra. I bet she's changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Just a bit, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Say, listen, what would you say to a drink while Walter puts your things in the buggy?
All right.
Good. Come on, this way.
Murphy. Another one.
Okay.
Jared, I haven't seen you in a coon's age. Where you been, out of town?
Up in Sacramento. Murphy, you remember Tom Lightfoot?
Tom Lightfoot. You mean that ragtag kid that used to scamper around with Nick and Audra?
One and the same.
Well, I'll be. Where you been hiding, Tom?
Well, back east. First prep school and then Harvard.
Harvard?
Murphy, you are gazing upon a newly graduated lawyer.
You don't say. Well, that calls for one on the house.
Murphy.
Keep your shirts on.
Jared, how things in Sacramento?
Oh, the same as usual. Legislature's slow getting down to business.
About the Modoc reparations bill. Now, your last letter, you
Now,
said...
Tom, no business. We'll talk about that later. I want to hear all about you first. How was your trip?
Long, and I'm glad to be back.
Hello, boys.
Lightfoot.
You don't remember us, do you? Tom, these are the Watson brothers. That's Clem and Ben.
Yeah, your old man used to work for our pa once, remember? Slopping the hogs.
He used to take his payout in rot gut whiskey. Remember how he'd get falling down drunk and sleep with the pigs and hogs?
Couldn't hardly tell them apart.
I think that'll be enough.
Pick him up.
a time, Ben.
I let him come.
That's enough, Tom. That's enough.
Very, very pretty. Well, now, all this for the prodigal son?
Prodigal sons do not graduate from Harvard Law School. And stop rearranging my arrangements.
Mother, where can I find some wrapping paper?
Oh, in the top shelf in the linen room.
Yeah, wait. Wait a minute. Hold on. What do we have here?
What's a gift for Tom?
Tom who?
Nick.
Looks like a scrapbook.
You're being nosy, you know.
That Tom. Well, now, no wonder you spent all that money subscribing to San Francisco newspapers.
What's that little laugh supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just that I remember back when you used to carry his books to school.
Only because I rode in the buggy and he always ran alongside.
Well, now, this is very impressive. Indian wins 100-yard dash. Lightfoot wins broad jump. Indian wins decathlon for Harvard.
Come on, Nick, I have to get it wrapped.
Oops. We're home.
Tom. Oh, Tom. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
So good to be home. This is a little like bringing coals to Newcastle.
Oh, they're beautiful. How very thoughtful of you.
Tom, welcome home. How are you?
How are you, Nick?
Well, Audra.
Hello, Tom.
Audra? Jared was right.
About what?
About me not being disappointed in the changes.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but what about lunch? I'm starving.
Which proves the theory that nothing ever changes. Audra, would you show Tom to his room?
Come on.
Looks great, doesn't he? He sure does. What happened to you two? That stage was supposed to be an hours ago.
Well, we ran into a little trouble in town. The Watson brothers.
Oh, those two.
Yeah, but Tom managed to take care of them all right.
Good. Did you tell Tom about the Modoc reparations bill?
No. No time enough for news like that after lunch.
Well, it's exactly the way I remembered it.
It's been waiting for you. A homecoming present. I'm sorry I didn't get it wrapped.
You saved all of these? Well, I didn't realize there's so many. You know, I guess at the time I just took enough satisfaction out of beating all those white boys. It was a joke, Audra. Thank you, Audra. I can't think of anything you could have done nicer for me.
I'm glad you like it.
Say you're going to find Stockton pretty dull after 4 years at Harvard.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'm sure you won't.
After all, Stockton's grown a lot these past few years.
No, it sure has. We have 4 new saloons, 2 new livery stables. We're a regular boom town.
Not to mention a new school, a new library, and hotel.
And we're getting all the new plays and operas from San Francisco.
You are planning on staying in Stockton, aren't you?
Well, that depends.
Depends on what?
Well, Jared, what about the Modoc reparations bill? How's it coming? Well, what is it?
Jared, I think this is as good a time as any to tell them, don't you?
Tell me what?
Tom, the Assembly Judiciary Committee voted not to send the Modoc bill to the floor.
Jared, in your last letter, you
In my last letter, I told you that if it got out of committee, both houses would pass it and the governor would sign it. But...
Oh, effing but. They've always got to catch, haven't they?
The vote was close, Tom, 8-5. All we have to do is swing 2 votes. We can do that. You can do it.
How?
We'll go to Sacramento. We'll buttonhole the committeemen that voted against it. Some of them are bound to be impressed with you.
Impressed with me?
Listen to me, Tom. You're a living example of what your people can do if they're given a chance. All you have to do is see these men, talk to them.
You mean you want to take me to Sacramento and parade me around like I was one of Barclay's prize studs?
Now, wait a minute, Tom.
You wait a minute. I am not going to Sacramento and beg Indian-hating politicians for anything.
I'm not asking you to do that.
Well, that's what it amounts to. Well, I've spent the last 10 years of my life trying to prove to the white man what an Indian can do if he's given the chance. And I didn't convince anybody. Audra, have you read that scrapbook you gave me? Take a look at it. Indian wins track meet for Harvard. Indian graduates cum laude. Like I was some sort of a freak. What am I, a 2-headed dog or a baboon? Well, I don't want any more of your chances. And neither do my people. All we want is the land that the white man stole from us.
Tom, you can get it if...
If what? Wait and be patient? Maybe we can go to the white man and say, pretty please.
Work for the Modoc bill.
It's the only way, Tom.
The only way the Modoc is going to get what belongs to him is to take it the same way the white man took it from us. With a gun.
Your people don't want that?
Well, have you talked to them?
Yes.
Well, now it's my turn.
Tom, give the legislature a chance.
It had its chance yesterday, last week, and last month.
Tom, don't make us choose sides.
You're white. You've already chosen.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to drive Tom into town.
Now, Audra.
Jared, please don't argue with me. I think I know Tom better than any of you. I want a chance to talk to him.
I have a feeling you're going to be wasting your time.
It's my time.
Audra's going to drive you into town. Goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye.
Fort Barkley. Remember? I haven't seen it in ages.
Audra, it's just an old shack some kids used to play in.
No, you're wrong. It isn't just another old shack. Come on. It's not just a shack. It's a haunted place. Listen. Hear them? A little girl squealing with excitement. The Indian war whoops. A cowboy going, bang, bang, you're dead. You were always the cowboy.
Was it?
And later on, when we got older, we'd come here to talk. And tell each other our most special thoughts.
You stop it, Audra.
Stop what?
Whatever it is you're trying to do.
Tom, don't you remember how it was? When we grew up, it was Tom and Nick and Audra. Just people, a happy family.
I was never part of a family, Audra. He was a nice, cute little Indian boy the nice white folks felt sorry for and took in. After his mother died of smallpox and father killed himself with cheap, rot-gut white man's whiskey.
Tom, what's happened to you?
I've grown up. Are you going to take me into town, or shall I walk the rest of the way?
Walk? Why walk? Why don't you run? That's what you used to do everywhere you went. So why waste time walking when you're in such a hurry to start killing white men? Tom? Tom, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Oh, you're so wrong. It's so easy to kill, and you and your people have nothing to gain.
Well, maybe not. But what do we got to lose?
Oh, that jaw still hurting?
Yeah.
Hey, must have hit you with a spittoon.
Just never mind that. Get me some more whiskey. Come on, hurry up.
Oh, sure, honey. I didn't mean nothing.
Man? Yeah. The Modoc. Just saw him walking down Brazos Street. Well. The Cal and Benton are in the back room. Go get him. I didn't expect him back so soon.
You fix him good.
I'll tell you what. I want you to come along with us.
Be my pleasure. Keep your filthy hands to yourself, you stinking Modoc.
What's the matter, Lil?
Well, he tried to get fresh with me.
You know you shouldn't have done that, Lightfoot.
Sure you brought enough help.
What is this all about?
Modoc, he forgot his place. He's trying to get fresh with Lil.
Yeah, I was going by and minding my own business. I happened to drop my purse, and when I stooped down to pick it up, that stinking Indian... Well, I'm too much of a lady to tell you what he done.
Yeah, sure. All right, I'll get your story after Doc Morar gets a look at you. Leave me alone!
I'm going to kill you for this.
All right, move up. Move out. You can't accomplish anything hanging around here. Now, come on. Go on home. Go on now, boys. Come on. This isn't going to do you a bit of good.
What's the trouble, Fred?
Just coming over to see you, Jared. Trouble's Tom Lightfoot.
Nick told me you had a little run-in with the Watsons again last night.
Well, it didn't end there. I'm holding Tom for murder.
For murder?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, he got beat up pretty bad in that fight. He threatened to kill the Watsons. Looks like he made good on Clem.
Any witnesses?
Yeah, Ben Watson, Lil Bailey. She works down at Murphy's.
There's two of the most reliable people in town. What'd they say happened?
All right, you tell me how to dispute their story. They claim they all rode out to the Watson place together. Clem drove the rig into the barn. Ben and Lil heard a yell. They ran into the barn and saw Tom standing over Clem, stabbing him with a pitchfork.
Fred, I'd like to hear his side of the story.
Sure. Sure. Call when you're through.
I was wondering when you'd come.
I just heard about it.
And you jumped right over here as soon as you heard.
You getting religion?
No, I didn't ask for it, if that's what you're thinking. It was already here. I'm reading Exodus. And Moses quite a man.
And your interest is purely historical.
That's right.
What made you so sure I'd come?
Because I'm Exhibit A. Proving the generosity of the white man and helping the poor Indian. You can't let them hang me.
I wouldn't be too sure of that. Did you kill Clem Watson?
No.
You threatened to.
That's right, and I would have killed him, but somebody beat me to him. Maybe I'll have more luck with his brother when I get out of here.
Do you mean that, Tom?
Yes.
Then you better get yourself another lawyer.
Name one. You can't. I know you, Jared. Your conscience won't let you deny me my constitutional guarantee of right to counsel.
Don't push me too hard, Tom.
I'm just being honest with you. Isn't that what you want a client to be? So let's get it all straight. For 10 years, nothing has changed. My people are still drowning in a cesspool of filth and hunger and disease.
And don't tell me about your people. I know what they're suffering. And I didn't come here to listen to you make a speech about it.
You'd better listen. Because when I get out of here, Jared, I'm going to do everything I can.
Does everything include working for the Modoc reparations bill?
Oh, it's too late for that.
You want it all right now, don't you, Tom? Well, it doesn't work that way.
And my people are going to take an awful lot of you people down with them when they go.
I know what you want. You want me to walk out of here, don't you? So you can say, there's a white man for you. Well, if that's what you're after, you're wasting your time. If I do walk out of here, it won't be because of all the white people you say you're going to kill. And if I stay, it'll be because you haven't killed anybody yet. Now, why don't you just tell me what happened last night? All right.
Have you really given this thing any thought? Do you realize what happens if you get him off?
What happens if I don't?
If that man goes free, he's gonna hang sooner or later anyway, feeling the way he does.
Probably.
No, probably about it, Jared.
Still, Nick, the law takes a rather dim view of hanging a man for what he says he's going to do.
Really made up your mind, haven't you? You're gonna go ahead and defend him, knowing full well if that man gets loose, he's gonna do everything he can to turn every Modoc on the warpath. Also knowing full well that he would like nothing better than burning the whole town of Stockton right to the ground.
Yes, Nick, even knowing that. Nick, I haven't got any choice. Can't you understand that?
No, not this time.
You've testified that you, your brother, and Miss Bailey arrived at the ranch about midnight. Is that right?
That's right.
Then, Clem dropped you and Miss Bailey off at the house and drove on to the barn.
He drove right inside.
Did you see him do that?
Yes?
Could you see him after he went into the barn?
Well, no, but Lil and I heard him yell out when the Modoc jumped him.
From the hayloft?
Yeah?
Mr. Watson, if you couldn't see him after he drove into the barn, how do you know he was jumped from the hayloft or any other place?
Clem told me.
Clem told you?
Yes.
When did he do that?
Well, when I ran inside to help him.
And what was the defendant doing while you got this information? Just standing there patiently while you two had a little talk? Well?
No, Clem yelled at me while we were fighting the engine.
Wasn't that far-sighted of him? Almost as if he knew he was going to be killed by the defendant and you'd be here testifying against him. Now, Mr. Watson, you further stated that you tried to come to your brother's assistance by drawing your gun, but the defendant knocked it out of your hand.
Yes.
And you couldn't get it back.
Yes.
Then you ran out of the barn.
I told you I had to go in the house to get a rifle.
Leaving your brother alone with a man who'd sworn to kill you both not 4 hours earlier?
I had to do something.
You could have stayed there and fought.
Well, I didn't think.
You didn't think. Well, may I suggest that you think now, Ben? Think about telling the truth?
Objection. Sustained.
I'm through with him, Your Honor.
That's it. That's all of it. It happened just that way. Can I go now?
I thank you, Miss Bailey. Unless Mr. Barkley has some questions.
A few. Now, Miss Bailey, where did you and the Watson brothers go following the altercation in the street?
To Murphy's Saloon for a drink.
A drink. Isn't it a fact that the three of you sat there for several hours, drinking heavily?
No.
And that when you arrived at the Watson Ranch, you were completely intoxicated?
That ain't true.
Your Honor, I'm prepared to introduce at least a dozen witnesses who will testify that Miss Bailey and the Watson brothers were drunk to the point of staggering when they left Charlie's saloon, not a half hour before the victim was killed.
And I'm one of them.
Mr. Barkley, unless you can restrain yourself, I shall have to ask you to leave this courtroom.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry.
As I was saying, Your Honor, I'm prepared to produce these witnesses, but I was hoping to spare the court such a tedious parade.
What is the relevancy of your line of questioning, Mr. Barkley?
Just this, Your Honor. We've heard Miss Bailey testify that the moment they heard Clem Watson yell out, they ran into the barn.
Well?
And she further testified that when they arrived, She saw the victim lying on the floor with blood on his shirt and the defendant standing over him with a pitchfork in his hands. But not a moment ago, we heard Ben Watson testify that when they got to the barn, the defendant was still on his feet, fighting with the victim. Now, I suggest that either one of these witnesses or both are lying.
I object.
Or that they were so drunk they have no idea of what happened in that barn. Therefore, their testimony is incompetent in this court.
Oh, Your Honor, I object.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness.
Mr. McCann.
State rests.
Is the defense ready to proceed immediately?
I am, Your Honor. I have only one witness to call. Mr. Tom Lightfoot. I have one final question, Mr. Lightfoot. Where were you about midnight on the night Clem Watson was killed?
I was at the old Indian cemetery just south of town. I'd walked out there to visit my father.
And at no time were you anywhere near the Watson Ranch?
No.
Your witness, Mr. McCann.
Thank you. Well, Tom, you deny the murder of Clem Watson?
Yes.
Well, you don't deny that you threatened to kill him. And Ben Watson, too.
Yes.
Well, a lot of men make threats they don't really mean. But what about you, Tom? Did you mean it when you told Clem and Ben Watson you were going to kill him?
Objection. Overruled. Answer the question.
Yes? Well, did you mean it? Answer yes or no.
Object.
Sustained. You may answer in your own way.
Yes. Yes, I meant it when I said I'd kill them. And the only reason I didn't is because I didn't have the chance.
I see. Would it be fair then to assume that if the jury frees you, you would immediately carry out your threat against Ben Watson?
Objection.
The witness has already admitted he would have killed Clem Watson if he'd had the opportunity. Before they bring in a verdict, I think this jury has a right to know what Tom Lightfoot intends to do if he's acquitted.
Your Honor, this court is concerned with facts, not intentions.
Does he intend to murder Ben Watson?
Your Honor.
Mr. McCann. And will it stop there? Or does he intend to go on murdering white men?
Yes. If I ever get the chance, I will kill him.
Tom. And then my people and I will start in on the rest of you.
Tom, sit down. It is going to be you or us. That's the way you've wanted it, and that's the way it's going to be. And I'm going to warn you right now, if it isn't us, then you people are going to go through hell before it's you. Now, you go right ahead and hang me, because it won't change a thing. Get me out of here.
And you know perfectly well that I had the basis of a mistrial before you were stampeded into making that little speech of yours.
A mistrial. Now, what good would it have done? Listen, you made fools out of Ben Watson and Lil Bailey, and the jury just sat there. They didn't bat an eye, not a flicker, just 12 little hangmen all in a row. Now, you think any other jury would be different?
Here's your supper.
I don't want it.
Suit yourself.
Fred. I'll see you in court in the morning.
Jared, why don't you just give up?
I'm not sure, but I think it's because that's what you want me to do. That's a pretty good way to get your leg broken.
You still going to defend that Modoc?
That's right.
After what he said in court?
Get that leg down.
It's going to take a lot of fancy tricks to get that engine off. You do, and you're going to have to find another town to live in.
Glass of sherry, Jared?
Oh, thank you.
I think you'd better have one. Then I can justify this as a social call. Otherwise, I think it would be improper for us to discuss a change of venue outside the courtroom. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Wasn't hard to guess. If our positions were reversed, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Tell me honestly, Jared, do you think Tom Lightfoot could get a fair trial in any other county in this state?
All I know is he isn't getting one here.
Well, does he really want one? I thought he did until his outburst in court today.
Well, Andrew, I can't really say what's going on inside of him. I suppose one would have to be an Indian to really know. But whether or not he wants a fair trial isn't the question. That's irrelevant. It's our job to see that he gets one.
You do realize, don't you, that what he said in court today will be publicized everywhere? Tom Lightfoot is a minor celebrity. I assure you, Jared, there is nowhere you can take this case where the emotional climate will be any different.
I think that remains to be seen.
Jared, you want to see justice done. And so do I, but it will have to be dispensed right here in Stockton.
Are you turning my request down?
You give me no real legal grounds to accommodate you.
As you say, this is no court. But tomorrow morning when court does convene, I'm going to make my request again. I want the record to show that you turned my plea down.
Jared.
Good night. Hello, Murphy.
Hi, Jared. I hear you had quite a day. You want a double?
You bet I do. But I'll take a light one instead. I've still got a lot of work to do.
Sorry, Jared.
Looks like I might have to get used to that, Murphy.
My treat, Jared.
Well, thank you, Arthur. I wish you'd be this generous in court.
I'd like to, but it wouldn't be fair to the taxpayers. Wouldn't be doing you any favor either.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do. The best thing that could happen is for you to lose this case. Oh, I meant that. The best thing that could happen is for you to walk off this case right now.
I'm afraid that's not possible, Arthur.
Jared, I hate to lose a case. Defeat keeps me awake nights, turns my food and liquor into ashes, but I don't think I'll get much pleasure out of winning this one at the price of the destruction of a fine young lawyer like you.
Now, don't you worry about me. I'll survive.
Will you? What'll happen to you if Tom Lightfoot's acquitted? Jared, what'll happen if he carries out his threat?
Well, I sure wouldn't expect to win any popularity contests.
Jared.
Arthur, I ran across something I'd almost forgotten about. You remember the Boston Massacre? Lawyer who defended the English? He saw all the judges quit. Saw his family threatened by the mob that took over the city. But he didn't back off. Remember who he was?
Mm-hmm. John Adams.
Of course, I don't expect to become president, but I do expect to get your congratulations.
I think I'll let you buy me a drink now.
Jared?
What happened, Nick? I thought you were on your way home with Mother and Audrey.
It was a general idea. We got as far as Cutter's Bridge.
Well, did the buggy break down?
No, the goodwill of our neighbors broke down. They were on the bridge waiting for us, waiting to stone us. And they did, and spooked the horses.
They what?
They stoned us.
Was anybody hurt?
No, it was pure luck. You know something, Jared? I think this is just the beginning.
Where are Mother and Audrey now?
They're over at your office.
Jared, take some deputies with you. See that you get home.
Tom! What have you done to yourself?
I think he headed straight for the reservation. Anyway, that's where I'm taking the posse first thing. Now, I thought you two might want to ride along with us.
He'd be crazy to do that. He'd know that'd be the first place we'd look, Fred.
Maybe. The Modoc are his people. Who else would give him protection? Now, I need men. All the men I can get. Men who know him, know his habits. Now, how about it? You gonna ride with us?
I'm sorry, Fred.
Nick?
Yeah. Well, remember, Jared, you told him not to make us choose sides. He wouldn't listen. Come on, Fred.
Fred, let's go.
They'll shoot him on sight, won't they?
Not necessarily.
After what he said in court today, they'll never take him alive.
There's still a couple of things I can try. I'm gonna go into town.
Jared, do you think Tom will be there?
No, I agree with Nick. Doesn't matter whether he's in Stockton or not. I want to talk to Ben Watson and Lil Bailey. Be back as soon as I can.
Looks like it's going to be a long night. I'll make some coffee.
Ben said he wasn't going to stay around this town no more. Not with that crazy Modoc on the loose and gunning for him. So he took the 910 to Sacramento.
Thanks, Murphy. I was just coming to see you, Lil.
Well, I gotta find Ben.
You're a little late.
You mean the Modoc?
Oh, no. Ben's left town.
Left town?
That's right. Took the 910 to Sacramento.
You're lying.
Why don't you go ask Murphy?
Oh, Ben wouldn't do that. He wouldn't leave me here to face...
Face who, Lil? Tom Lightfoot? Now, you don't have any reason to be afraid of him, do you? It was Ben and Clem he threatened to kill. Of course, that was before, wasn't it? Before you lied about him in court.
I didn't lie. I told exactly what happened.
Oh, yes, you lied. Tom didn't kill Clem, and you know it.
Listen, leave me alone.
All right, Lil. I'll leave you alone. Of course, you'll probably be dead by morning. I don't see why I should have any sympathy for you. If Tom Lightfoot is after you, he could be anywhere, couldn't he? Now, you think about that. Maybe he's watching us right now, or maybe he's over in your room waiting for you.
I'll get the sheriff. I'll get protection.
The best protection you've got is the truth. Can't you see that? You're safe only if he's safe.
I can't help you.
Tell me what happened in that barn, Lil. You made one mistake, now don't make another. Tell me!
Ben killed Clem. He didn't mean to. He was drunk. Ben and Clem got in a fight.
What about? What about?
Me. But it was Ben's idea to say it was the Modoc. I didn't want to. Honest. I told him, I said, Ben, even if he is only a stinking Indian...
All right, you're coming with me. You're going to spend the night at the ranch.
Close?
Oh, no, Lil, there isn't time for that. I got to get to that posse before they get to Tom.
the matter, Nick?
I don't know. I've been thinking. I don't believe he'd head for the Modoc Reservation.
Well, we gotta start somewhere.
Well, I think I know a better start. Of course, it'll make us take a 20-minute detour.
Oh, all right, lead on.
All right, let's go.
I'm alone.
It's my father's clothes. I saved them. I guess I always knew it'd come to this.
Your hand, let me see it.
It's all right.
Let me see it.
Jared sent you?
Nobody sent me. I thought you'd be here, so I came.
Asked me to give myself up.
Yes, before it's too late.
Too late for what? To become a white man?
To stay alive.
I'm alive now for the first time.
You're a wanted man. Sooner or later, they'll catch you.
Maybe. But they're not going to kill me at the end of a rope. Audra, the white man that gets me is going to have to work for it.
What about the white men that want you to live? Men like Jared. He worked so hard for you, and the trial wasn't even over yet.
It was over before it started.
He would have appealed.
Oh, then maybe I can spend the rest of my life in prison instead of being killed on the gallows. Well, no thank you, Audra. And I'm through begging the white man for anything. Now go on home, Audra.
Where will you go?
Look, I can't tell you that. Though you'll be hearing about me. Although I doubt if it's anything you want to put in your scrapbook.
Tom! Tom Lightfoot! This is Sheriff Madden. If you're in there, come out with your hands up!
You said you keep along!
Tom! This is Nick Barkley. Now we got you surrounded. You haven't got a chance. Give yourself up. Nick, he's asking for it.
Stop it! Stop it, Tom! You stop it! Please! Stop it! Stop it!
Hey, that was Audra.
Tom! Tom!
Audra, are you all right?
He's alive.
I hope he gets a good look at his blood. Sees that it's the same color as ours.
Audra.
Shh, wake him up.
Oh, I'm awake.
Hey, see, your whispering woke him up. Tom, I've got something for you.
Is it about the Modoc bill?
The Senate passed it and sent it on to the governor for his signature.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Why don't you read the rest of it to her?
Please advise if your friend Thomas Lightfoot would be interested in accepting position as legal counsel on Indian Affairs Board, established on the terms of Modoc reparations law. I'm making this require at the request of governor, who will make appointment immediately upon receiving affirmative reply. Andrew Young, President Pro Tem, California State Senate.
Well, Tom, what do you want me to tell the senator?
Oh, Tom, please say yes. Please.
It's only a step, Tom, a small step. But if this law is going to work, it has to be administered by men who want it to work. Men who want to go on from here to better laws for your people.
What promises do I have to make if I accept this position?
The only ones you have to make are the ones you want to make. To yourself and your people.
All right. I'll try it.
I'll get a telegram off to the senator right away.
To me, there should be a couple more around here. Maybe upstream some way. I better have a look. That is, unless you'd like to go. No thanks. I'll hold on to these. Figured.
Get away from me.
Oh, sorry. I figured I could help.
Help! What are you doing? Why are you following me?
Following you? I wasn't following you. It's just that, well, you're way out here away from town. I thought you were lost. No, that wasn't it either. It's just that I never saw anyone quite so beautiful. Wait a minute. You better let me...
Look, I'm only going right down to that house, so just let me be.
Well, I can at least...
You heard her, mister? You turn around right off the way you come. Get off my land.
Ah, you must be Mr. Grant. I'm Nick Barkley.
I don't care who you are, and I told you to go.
Look, mister, I was just trying to help your daughter.
You don't need no help. You heard me, mister. Now, I don't want to have to use this.
Well, you better not try using that, because I got a right to be here. In case you've forgotten, Mr. Grant, this is Barkley property.
When I paid my rent money, that made it my land for the time. I don't have to suffer nobody, Barkley's included. You go on now. Leave us our privacy.
But
I told you to go.
Yeah, I'd say you made that pretty plain.
but didn't you tell him who you were?
First thing. But I may as well have told him I come to poison his well. Thank you, Silas. Oh, Silas!
Don't you like your coffee hot, Mr. Nick?
Drink some water, drink some water.
It's your trouble, Nick. You just jump right in before you know the temperature.
Well, he could have told me.
Well, I was talking about that girl. You know, if I was her father, I might have got a little heated up, too.
All right, Heath.
Jared, you rented the place to him. What sort of a man is he?
Just a farmer. He didn't really say very much. I didn't know he had a wife or a daughter old enough to interest Nick. Anyway, I just didn't ask him too many questions after he paid a half a year's rent in advance.
Well, that's strange, isn't it? For that kind of money, he could have bought a place instead of renting it.
Well, maybe he figured he couldn't get credit to finance the rest or just had cash on hand. Anyway, Nick, you realize that legally you invaded the man's privacy.
Well, still, the shooting was uncalled for.
Well, I have to go out there and check on a couple of things, so I'll speak to him about it.
Oh, well, I'll go with you.
No, it's not necessary, Nick. I can handle it all alone.
Oh, well, excuse me.
But you know, it's strange that Jerry didn't find out more about those people before he rented to them.
Well, he never mentioned them at all. And that's even stranger.
Oh, looky here. It's our tenants, the Grants. They're right back.
Nick, wait.
No, they can't be paying rent on the town street. I guess I can talk to her here.
You know, Jared's waiting. We're 40 minutes late already.
He'll wait.
Morning, miss.
I just thought maybe I'd check, see how your ankle's doing.
It's just fine, thank you.
Good. Mrs. Grant, my mother's looking forward to meeting you. Maybe she could drop by and pay you a visit.
No, please. You understand my husband doesn't like company. I'm sorry. Please thank her just the same.
Oh, I see. Well, my mother's going to be terribly disappointed. Maybe you could drop by and pay her a visit.
I think not. Good day, Mr. Barkley.
Well, how'd you like that?
You asked for it.
I sure did.
Hey, Nick, that wheel for your carriage is ready.
I'll pick it up tomorrow morning, Denby.
Them your new tenants out the North Woods farm?
That's right.
Maybe I'll just drum up a little business. What's the name?
Grant. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. This ought to be good.
Howdy there, Mr. Grant. Ladies, name's Denby, Arthur W. Denby. Blacksmith, wheelwright, carter. Keep your cutlery sharp, make you the best plowshare in the valley. Ain't that right, Mr. Clay? That's right.
I got no need of those services.
No telling when you might, though, is there? I'm a farrier, too. Take good care of your horse's hooves. Do all your shoeing.
Do my own shoeing.
Looks it, too. Better try me. That's only a joke, friend. Here, have a stoke.
I never touch the things.
Hebron.
You don't have to be unfriendly about it.
Well, they gave you leave to talk to us.
Well, pardon me, mister. I was only trying to be neighborly. Well, what do you make of that?
Just what I expected.
What got into him?
Just plain cussedness, I'd say.
Some tenant you got. What was that name she called him?
Huh? Oh, Herman.
Yeah, Herman. I think it was Hebron.
Yeah, Hebron.
Hebron, that's what I thought. Over in Utah. Common name of them Mormons.
Mormons? Say, you don't think Grant...
Why not? You Barkleys know anything about him, where they come from? And he don't smoke, never touches the thing? That's their way. And how about tea and coffee? How much does he buy?
Come to think of it, none. Not a pound since they've been here.
Of course not. They're Mormons, and that explains a lot.
Yeah, it might at that.
And they're here. In our valley.
And why not?
I'll tell you why not. Because they're no good, none of them. They call themselves saints, but they're more like devils.
Oh, now, come on. You can't dislike a man just because of his religion.
It ain't got nothing to do with religion. How come they've been driven out of every place they've ever been, way out in the wilderness to set up their own state? Now, what are they doing here?
Grant's not bothering you.
Yes, he is, just by being here. I'm telling you, no telling what's going to happen. Those people are murdering heathens.
Oh, well, now that's stupid.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you ever hear of the Mountain Meadows Massacre?
Of course, everybody's heard of that.
They say the Indians did the actual killing.
They say. But Mormons egged them on, Mormons bossed them, and Mormons probably helped them, too. A whole wagon train full of peaceful, helpless settlers murdered in cold blood. And I had an uncle and 2 cousins on that train. So you can see, I got no use for Mormons. It makes me sick to see them in this valley. And you, Barclays, rented him a farm.
What's the matter with Denby?
He doesn't like Mormons. Or people that rent to him. He seems to think that the Grants are Mormons.
Well, he's right. They are.
You knew they were?
No, I guessed it.
And you forgot to mention it.
Well, I didn't think it was very important. After all, a man's religion's his own business, isn't it?
Well, now, Jared, that has nothing to do with it. It can just cause an awful lot of trouble around here is all.
Well, Grant doesn't strike me as the type who's going to stir up trouble.
Well, now, he was pretty handy with a gun.
Denby is the type.
Yeah, his type is always the problem.
Well, he isn't about to forget this none too soon.
Can you meet me back here a little later?
Well, I thought you wanted to sign those papers.
Well, I do, but I have to take care of something first. See you here about 3?
All right, fine.
Come on, I'll let you buy me a beer.
You greet all your visitors?
We don't have no visitors. No one, none.
Well, now, I'm not exactly a visitor, am I? I stopped by as your landlord, see if there's anything you need. How's that pump?
It's all fixed. There's no need to look.
How about the roof on the shed? Need any more shingles?
Mr. Barkley, I paid you your money, and I don't need no help. Now, I appreciate your interest, but we like our privacy.
Is that the way all Mormons feel?
How'd you know that?
It wasn't really very hard to guess, Mr. Grant. I think maybe I've guessed a couple of other things, too. Might be wise for you and me to have a little talk. Put that thing away.
Come in. You're welcome, Mr. Barkley.
Mrs. Grant. And this is your daughter?
Emelina.
Miss Emelina.
I could quick make up some lemonade.
This ain't no social call. You had something on your mind.
As a matter of fact, I do. I think it'd be a good idea if we got to know a little bit more about each other.
For instance?
For instance, why you came here.
Why not? It's good farming country, ain't it?
There aren't any other Mormons here, Mr. Grant.
You ain't interested in why I come here. You're only interested in how quick you can get us away. Well, I paid my money and I ain't leaving.
Now, nobody said anything about leaving.
Well, I'm saying it. I want you out of here. Leave us alone.
I'm interested in why you left Utah to come here and hide out on this farm. Why you don't want any visitors, no contact from anybody. Now, there has to be a reason for that.
What reason would I have to hide out?
I think it's the same reason that most Mormons are hiding out now. Going out onto the desert, some to Canada, some to Mexico. And most, I'm afraid, to jail eventually.
I don't know what you're driving at.
I'm talking about the Mormons who refuse to obey the new law. Who refuse to give up their plural wives. Emelina isn't your daughter.
No, she's my sister.
And I don't believe that either. She's your second wife, isn't that right?
Can't prove that.
Is this your Bible?
You leave that be.
They usually contain records. Hebron Jethers Grant, married June 12th, 1872, to Eliza May Goodhue. Married May 30th, 1878, to Mary Emelina Hewitt.
Why did you have to know? It's nothing to you.
I'm afraid it is. If only as your landlord. People already know you're Mormons. Unfortunately, that could bring trouble enough. When they find out about this.
You don't want any trouble?
No more than you.
Well, you could just forget it. You could forget you
I
ever
can't
saw.
do that, Mr. Grant. Now, the laws against bigamy in California are explicit. If I let you go on living here and breaking the law, I'll become an accessory to the crime. I'm simply trying to tell you that you can't live in this house under the circumstances.
You can't run me out. I won't leave. I paid.
I'll give you your money back.
I don't care. I don't want it. I won't leave.
There's no solution for you here. Can't you see that? You can go on breaking the law, but sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. If you don't do something about it, believe me, there are plenty of people who will.
Now, what am I to do?
I can't answer that. I can only tell you the consequences of doing nothing. It's your problem, your decision. You'll have to make it soon. I can't give you much more time.
4 times I had to run. As a boy, my folks burned out in Missouri, and again in Illinois, my pa dead. I turned out of Zion itself by my own people. Sent to wander homeless in the wilderness, bereft of God. And then again in Arizona, and now here. You know what that's like?
I can imagine. But you cannot live in California with 2 wives.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Give up one of them? Now, you tell me, Mr. Lawyer, which one? Now, which one of these faithful women am I supposed to give up and turn out penniless and helpless into the world? Did it ever occur to you and your lawmakers that I might love my wives, both of them equally, and they might love me? Ever occur to you that these women might be happy in this house? That these marriages are made in heaven and sanctified in the temple of the Lord? This is a house of love and peace and blessed harmony, a house of God. I'm tired, lawyer. I'm tired of being spat on, reviled, and called every obscene name because of what I believe, because of the way I worship my God. I'm tired of having my marriage defiled and my wife's name sullied and treated like the filth of the earth. I've had enough of it, and I won't take any more of it, and I won't run away from it. I believe what I've done is right. I'm good and righteous in the name of the Lord, and I will be judged by him and by no other. Not by you, not by anybody in this valley, not by anybody else.
Get out, Mormons! We don't want you here! Get out of our valley!
Kill him! They got no right to do that!
Give me that rifle. Don't be a fool, man. Give it to me. You let me take care of this. Now, Denby, you be smart. Ride off and leave these people alone.
What are you doing here, Jared? This ain't your fight.
I'm making it mine.
Well, I ain't got nothing against you. We've been friends a long time.
You're not being very friendly at the moment.
Well, it ain't you. I mean, I don't blame you for renting to him. He probably fooled you, too. But we're not gonna have any Mormons around here.
Who's we?
All of us and a lot more, too. Now, I don't want no trouble with you, Jared, but we're not gonna run from it, neither. We mean to turn them out. So maybe, you better do it first.
And if I don't?
Then we will. And folks might blame you for bringing them here, and you might not like what they do. It might not just be a busted window.
Now you listen carefully. Ride out and don't come back. If you do, there'll be a warrant for your arrest.
You're gonna regret this, Jared.
There's your answer, Mr. Grant.
I mean to fight.
You'll lose.
Maybe not.
You haven't got a leg to stand on, legally or otherwise.
Now, what else can I do?
You can go to Mexico. Nobody will bother you there.
Run again?
Well, then there's only one other answer, isn't there?
No. Never.
Mr. Barkley?
Mrs. Grant?
I'll tend the supper.
Hebron, what Mr. Barkley says mightn't it be right?
About what?
There's probably no other answer for us but to do like the others. Go to Mexico.
You want that? You want me to go to a foreign nation where I don't even speak their tongue? How am I going to earn a living for us? Find a farm like this one? No, we ain't come to that yet. God willing, we never will. I ain't done fighting here yet, Em.
But is fighting the answer? Won't they just hate us the harder?
Well, is running away to a foreign nation the answer? This is my country, Emelina, just as much as it is the Barclays. I was born here, and I mean to die here. I'm an American. I'm not a Mexican.
But we can't stay here.
Now, Em, you stop your fretting. You trust Hebron like you always done. I took care of you till now, didn't I?
Yes, Hebron.
And I always will. I ain't gonna desert you. Neither one of you. So don't you worry. The Lord's gonna take care of us. And provide like you always done.
Well, I told you he'd make it, Heath.
5 minutes to 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, how was your little trip out to the Grants? What'd you find out?
Found out your taste is improving, for one thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're not running in luck, Nick.
Huh? How's that?
Lady's already married.
Huh? The young one?
Her name's Emelina, and she's Mrs. Grant.
Oh, what about the other one?
She's Mrs. Grant, too. Sign here, here, and here.
Of course, Mormon.
Well, that explains why he didn't want anyone around.
Yep.
So? What'd you say to him?
Told him I'd give him a little time to decide what to do.
Meanwhile, you keep all this to yourself. Isn't that what you call being an accomplice, Brother Jared?
It is. So what am I supposed to do? Run down the middle of town, tell Denby, tell the sheriff, have him arrest him, throw him in jail? What good would that do those two women?
Well, now, that is his problem, isn't it? I mean, a man isn't supposed to be married to two women at the same time.
What if he loves them both equally, Nick?
Well, I doubt that.
Says he does.
Well, he can just give up one of them.
What if they both love him?
Look, the man is old enough to be Emelina's father. Now, she'd be better off without him.
Sounds like a little wishful thinking.
I'll tell you what is wishful thinking. If this little problem goes any further, it's all gonna blow up in our face.
Well, Nick, I told him I was going to give him a little time, and that's what I'm going to do.
Whoa! Evening, storekeeper. We need some supplies, some flour, lard, and some cartridges.
Came too late. Already closed.
But we drove all the way in here.
Can't help it. Well, they picked a decent time of day. I don't know why a body'd wait till so late. Unless they was afraid they were going to be seen by somebody.
Now, look. You'd open up again for some other man, wouldn't you?
I might, and I might not.
Well, my money's good as anybody else's.
Please, Mr. Clay.
I'd like to oblige for your sake, Mrs. Grant, but
Now, you deal with me. I'll take my trade somewhere else next time.
I'd just as soon you did. Where do you go? Not everybody will deal with you.
You know what you are?
Hebron!
A swine, a filthy swine. Now you get in that store.
Get your stinking hands off of me! You Mormon.
Oh, Hebron. Oh. Look what you've done to my husband.
You? You too? Both of you? Well, I'll be...
Oh, Emelina.
Living in sin right in our midst. Not to mention him flouting the law. If he's got 2 wives now, he'll be looking for more. No decent folks in the valley will be safe.
Well, what about it, Jared? You're the one man in town knows anything at all about the Grants. Is it true or isn't it?
Yes, it's true, Fred. He's married to both of them.
You just never got around to telling me.
Well, I didn't know for sure myself until yesterday, and I felt I had to give the man a little time to make his decision.
You had no right to do that, Jared.
I know I didn't. I was hoping maybe we could solve this thing without anyone getting hurt. What are you going to do now?
Only thing I can do. Arrest him.
Mean a long sentence, Fred. Courts are being awful tough on these cases.
Yeah, I know.
Leave those 2 women alone, nobody to support them.
Well, that's not my problem, and I might add it's not yours either.
I don't know, Fred. Maybe it is. When the law works this kind of hardship on people.
Jared, you're a lawyer. You know every law works a hardship on somebody. But that fact in itself isn't enough to keep us from doing the jobs we have to do.
I know, but can it really hurt Fred to give the man just a little more time?
A little more time? That law was passed 2 years ago.
And Grant married his second wife 2 years before that. That law is retroactive. It penalizes people for doing something that wasn't a crime when they did it.
Stands up in court.
I'm talking about justice, Fred. How we enforce this law is the measure of our humanity.
You, been over at the saloon and heard Denby?
Yeah.
Time's running out, Jarrett. And it may be that I won't be able to give him time. So you tell him to hurry up.
I'll go out and see him this afternoon. Thanks, Fred.
Still working on the shed?
Yes.
It's coming along fine, isn't it?
Fine.
Such a nice farm. The best we've ever had. Hebron likes it here.
Well, they'll drive us out again, Eliza. Mr. Barkley says so.
Please, sister, don't talk about it. It upsets me so.
But, Eliza, you can't just ignore it.
I leave such things to Hebron. So should you. He'll know what to do, and God will provide.
Hebron can be wrong.
Of course, dear. But God can't.
Eliza, what if there were just one of us?
Now, sister, you know I don't like to talk of death.
No, not death. I'm talking about the law. It says that we both shouldn't be living with Hebron.
That's a bad law, and I don't talk about such things. I don't even think about them. Hebron will know what to do.
Yes. You've always had Hebron or someone to look after things for you, haven't you?
I've been very fortunate, Emelina.
Well, I haven't. I've had to look out for myself. he would get along fine with just one of us. And there wouldn't be any more trouble from the law or anyone else.
Sister, I don't understand you. You shouldn't even think about such things. We're here, the three of us, and happy.
Oh, Eliza, I'm sorry. I won't talk about it anymore. I'm going out for a while.
All right, dear, don't be long.
Well, it's about time we met, Mrs. Grant.
You're so kind. And I wasn't even sure you'd receive me.
Why not? I admire your devotion to what you believe is right.
Well, that's just it, Mrs. Barclay. I'm not so sure what is right anymore. Oh, I don't mean my religion. I mean the plural marriage. And it's not that I'm unhappy. I'm not. It's just that since they passed this law...
I understand.
Well, Hebron says that there's a higher law that we must obey. But if they send him to prison, I think it would kill him. And I don't think the Lord would ask that.
Have you talked this over with your husband?
Oh, yes. But Hebron is a steadfast man. And when he's sure in what he believes, well, it's very difficult to change his mind. I've talked about Mexico a lot. But he doesn't want to go.
It might be for the best.
I know. But I can't force him. And I think there may be another way that would be better.
What other way?
Well, I've thought and thought about it. And that's why I've come to see your son. He's a lawyer, and he could advise me about, well, a divorce.
For you?
Well, Hebron could get along with just one of us. And Eliza's been with him longer. Besides, she needs someone. I don't. I can manage by myself. And one of the reasons Hebron married me was so that I could give him children when Eliza hadn't given him any. But I haven't either.
Well, what about your feelings?
I'd rather know that he were free than in jail.
Mrs. Grant, you must be very sure about this.
Do you think your son can handle it?
You can ask him yourself.
Mother, it's nice to see you, Mrs. Grant.
Mrs. Grant would like to ask you something.
Oh? What can I do for you?
Mr. Barclay, will you get me a divorce? You were right. We can't go on together.
You're doing the wisest thing possible, Mrs. Grant. Does your husband know? Well, he has to be told, of course.
I'll tell him as soon as
Knowing your husband, I think it'd be better if I approach him first. She can stay here till I get back. Don't you worry, everything will be all right.
I don't believe you. What have you done to her? Turned her against me?
Now, calm down, Grant. You've got to see this thing the way it really is. You're the one who's forced her into this, and you know it.
What do you mean?
I mean you can't go on breaking the law or fighting it. She sees that even if you don't.
No, I won't let her. She can't do it.
I'm afraid it's out of your hands.
I won't let her! I'll bring her back if I have to kill all you Barclay, Grant. come for my wife.
Yes, we have been expecting you.
And I'll use this if I have to.
When are you going to stop playing hero, and when are you going to get through that thick head of yours that you're not going to fight the world all by yourself? Huh?
Now, why don't you put that thing down right there? And as soon as you decide to start acting like a gentleman, then you will be fully welcome into our home.
How's that?
There now, isn't that better?
Where's Jared?
You never mind that. Where's my wife? What'd you do with her?
Oh, we haven't done anything with...
You turned her against her unlawful husband. I seen you casting eyes at her from the first day.
Now, you're not making much sense, Mr. Grant. Your wife makes a great deal more.
Now, you can't tell me my wife would decide to go away from me all by herself without being pushed into it.
Then I'll tell you. It's true.
Emelina. I'm not going to let you take my wife away from me. I'll fight you. I'll fight the whole country if I have to.
Oh, that's all.
And I'll have the Lord on my side.
No, Hebron, you don't. I don't think the Lord has taken sides in this. Anyway, I don't want you to fight.
You don't mean you really want to leave me?
Not want to, Hebron. Have to, don't you see?
No, I don't. No, you don't, Emelina. Listen, we'll go to Mexico just like you want.
You don't really mean that.
Yes, I do. I always meant to. Only now we'll leave right away. Tonight. Tomorrow.
You'll never be happy there.
Yes, I will. Only, am you going to come back to me? I can't do without you. I love you.
Do you really promise about going to Mexico?
I promise.
And there'll be no more fight.
No, I'll never use that gun for nothing but squirrels.
I'm mighty glad to hear that.
Oh, Mr. Barkley. I'm truly sorry.
Forget it. One of the hazards of the legal profession, I guess.
I just went out of my head. I don't know what I was doing.
Mr. Barkley, we're going to Mexico.
Mexico. Well, then I'd say the sooner you get started, the better.
We'll start packing that wagon right away, tonight. How's that?
Mr. Grant, you're going to Mexico, you're going to need this.
What's that for?
It's the balance of your rent money.
You're a fair man, Mr. Barkley. I'm awful sorry about your head.
Hebron.
About time, Clay. You got the kerosene?
Outside on the buckboard. But Denby, you sure about this? You know that house belongs to the Barkleys.
What do you care? They got it coming to them for letting them Mormons in. Now, let's go. You know this is all foolishness. I really don't see any need of doing all this tonight.
Well, you told Mr. Barkley.
No.
And you took his money.
No.
Well, you don't want to cause him any more trouble.
Well, what trouble can there be tonight? I mean, what's it matter if we wait till the morning or the next day, for that matter?
Well, you just don't know what might happen. And we've already caused that family enough upset. Now, you promised.
I know, but you see,
Hebron.
All right. I was just making talk. Don't mean anything. Now.
You want to help me with the sideboard, Hebron?
Liza, I don't see how we can take that.
We can't leave it behind. You just made it special.
We have to. We can't take everything. It's going to be a hard enough trip.
Is it a long way, Hebron?
To Chihuahua? It's a long way. A lot of country in between. Good country, though. Farming and ranching.
And all in the United States. With its laws.
Now, Em, I wasn't suggesting a thing. Even though we might find places, lonely places, where a body could settle in and never see an outsider from 1 month to the next. But no, sir, we're going straight to Mexico. Never you fear, I made you a promise and I'm going to keep it.
How long will it take, Hebron, to get there?
About a month, maybe more, depending.
On what?
Well, on the weather, mostly. It ain't the right time of year for it. One thing we could do with all that time on the road, we can learn some of the language. Don't none of us speak a word of Spanish.
How will we learn?
Find me one of them books somewhere along the road.
I don't know if I can learn, Hebron. I never was much good at foreign tongues.
Well, neither am I, but we gotta try. We have to. And we will. We will. We'll do just fine. You'll see. Now, don't you worry. We'll do just fine.
Yes, but not like here.
Well, no, not exactly.
It was nice here.
But at least we ain't being run out. It's my own decision.
Is it? Oh, maybe it'd have been better if I...
Now, Em, you hush. This is the way I want it. It's going to be all right. Now, stop your worrying. You just leave all that to Hebron. Like Eliza here does. I'll take good care of you.
And God will provide.
Sure he will. You just leave everything to Hebron and my Lord.
Grant! Grant!
Yeah, what do you want?
Hebron, you promised.
I told you Mormons to get out. You should have listened. You had your chance.
We're doing that, can't you see? We're packing to go.
No, we ain't budging. I won't be run off.
But Hebron, please, you promised.
I won't be run off, I tell you. You hear that, blacksmith? We're not budging.
Hold it. None of that now.
Oh, please, for God's sakes, don't do this. Tell them we're going. Tell them.
I can't do that. Don't you see him? I can't do that. I can't be humiliated by swine like that anymore. I won't be run out of my home, out of my country. I won't be. I'd rather die.
But you promised.
Sorry, Em. I gotta do it. I gotta fight back. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't.
They'll kill you.
I can't help that. I got to. What are they doing? What are they doing?
You get the idea? Now you gonna come out or shall we burn you out?
Oh, Hebron.
I can't. Even if I die for it, I can't. Come on and get me!
We'll die.
Pray, Emelina, pray. Kind Heavenly Father, Lord God of hosts, hear us in our need. Smite the sinners! Out of Lehi.
Pour it in the well.
God of Moroni. Smite the sinners.
All right, let's go.
I got a Nephi. God of Moroni, save us, thy servants. Smite the sinners. Raise up thy saints. Thank God.
Yeah!
The Lord answered my prayer.
Well, Mr. Grant, wagon's all loaded and ready to go.
Thank you. Sure am sorry about the farm.
Nothing that can't be fixed. The most important thing is you're all still alive.
Yes. Well, we'll be leaving then.
Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
Got a lot of work to get done back at the ranch, so good luck to you.
Thank you.
Jared?
Eliza, get on in.
Whoops, better not forget this one.
Oh, no. That's mine. It stays.
Stays? What do you mean, Emelina?
I'm not going, Hebron.
What are you talking about? You know we can't stay
Not
here.
we. Me.
Em, I don't understand.
I was right the first time. I'm getting that divorce.
Do you know what you're saying?
Yes. I'm saying you're not the only man in the world.
But I'm your husband. You love me.
I did once. I'm not so sure anymore. Somehow you're not the man I thought. Anyway, I'm sure I can get over it. I want the chance to try.
But, Em, I love you.
I suppose you do, Hebron. In your own way. But, somehow that's not enough anymore.
But...
No. Go with Eliza. Don't you understand, Hebron? I don't love you anymore. Now go.
Sister.
Goodbye, Eliza.
I don't understand this, but I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. Goodbye, sister.
Emelina,
Goodbye, Hebron.
I don't know what you're doing. You always did have a mind of your own.
You've always hated it.
Well, maybe so, but I loved it too. Goodbye.
Mr. Barkley, would you take me to the railroad station?
Of course I will. Where are you going to go, Emelina?
Back to Utah, I think. I know people there.
What about the divorce?
There won't be a divorce. But he won't know that, will he? And it'll be all right.